This is the Saturday Morning Update on 630 WMAL.
6:30 WMAL Saturday Morning Update. The mortgage crisis across the country front and center for many people here in the Washington area as well. 2 weeks ago, we had a guest on with us, Dena Roudybush, a mortgage attorney, and we got so many emails about her appearance that we figured we better get her back quick. Dena, nice to have you back.
Thank you for having me back.
One of the things I found interesting is when you look at the number of people who are underwater in Maryland and Virginia, how does it compare to states around the country?
Across the country, Maryland and Virginia are the top 10 states for which housing properties have a 20% or more negative equity.
So that's basically negative equity is the same as underwater.
Yes.
Maryland and Virginia ranking in the top 10 states. So your role is to come in and assist with a loan modification, because so many people, when they try and go up against the big guys, they go up against the banks, chances of taking on a bank and winning on your own probably slim to none these days. So your goal is to come in and help. How does somebody know whether they would qualify for a loan modification? Or, I mean, there could be people out there having these issues and having really big problems facing the mortgage and not know that they can get help.
Yeah, excellent question, because I've always said a homeowner going through this has nothing to compare this experience to. Look at your interest rate first. If you're 6% or more, you're likely eligible for a loan modification, because the rates for a loan modification range between 2% and 5%, and that's over the life of the loan. The second question is your own financial condition. Are you able to make your mortgage payments, or are you struggling? Are you using credit cards to pay your monthly operating expenses? So if your own financial situation dictates that you need a loan modification, that would be a second indicator that you would be eligible for one. And unfortunately, I have to add, if you are current, the reality is you are unlikely to get a loan modification. And that is the truth. That's the way they operate. And although I would never tell a homeowner, don't pay your mortgage payment, the question is always, if you can pay it, pay it. If you can't, can't. And the reality is most people can't.
So what you're saying, if somebody is paying more than 5% interest, that they may qualify for a loan modification, and if they went to the mortgage lender may not tell them that.
The lender will not tell them that. And absolutely, yes, they may be eligible depending on their personal finances, but the bank will not tell you from the beginning. And the process would be so much more simplified if you can call in and it was either a yes or a no. But rather, they'll drag you out and you will not know until they've tried to eke out a few more payments from you.
Now, you were actually an attorney with some of the major mortgage lenders, so you know how everything operates on the other side. Now you're sitting across the table from those guys representing individuals. That's got to kind of be like the magic bullet.
I think that it is, especially having my experience as general counsel for a servicing company. I understand servicing. The problem is, it's more than one issue. Servicers themselves are not equipped to handle the number of defaults at defaulting mortgages. And so there's an inherent delay process to keep homeowners sort of on the line. They want to collect the payments. They don't want to lose the homeowner. So part of that, unfortunately, I believe includes misrepresentations to the homeowners. We're working on your loan mod. That could be a year and a half. And many homeowners at that point have given up, and they end up going into default and losing their home.
One of the complexities that you brought up last time I thought was interesting to expand on a little bit, and that is you could be sitting down with a loan officer at a bank, but that loan officer and that bank, it may not be their money, right?
That's most of the loans were securitized on the secondary market, meaning they were packaged in mortgage pools and bought and sold. So if you have Bank of America, for instance, and they're servicing your loan, their major investors include Deutsche Bank, Bank of New York. So the investor is the one that makes the ultimate decision as to whether or not a homeowner is going to qualify for a loan modification. You're just simply working through the intermediary, the servicer.
So you may think you're talking to the decision maker when, in fact, decision makers across the Atlantic somewhere.
You're never, if you're a homeowner, you're not talking to a decision maker. I can say that. I've spoken to the decision makers, which took great efforts and a lot of pull on my part, but a homeowner is not talking to a decision maker. They're talking to volumes of intermediaries, and they now have a title, decisioners.
So in a nutshell, what do you do for your client when it comes to sitting down with a bank?
I file suit. That is the way to get a loan modification.
Kaboom.
Working with them and asking for one and pleading for one, whether the homeowner does it or I do it on behalf of the homeowner, is not successful. For me, I've resorted to just filing suit against the investor. That gets their attention. I've got foreclosures I'm reversing. I've got modifications overnighted to me because I've filed suit. And it really is sad and unfortunate that that's what you have to do. A homeowner has to resort to that measure to get a modification to keep them in their home, but that's what is successful.
So not only do you handle loan modifications, but if somebody has had foreclosure, you could possibly get it reversed?
I will be working on my third reversal of a foreclosure since January. Yes, I've had clients come to me after a foreclosure when the investor is throwing them out of their home or attempting to do so through an eviction process. That's when they've come to me, and we're 9 months into this, and I can tell you that one of the biggest firms in the country representing the bank has called me on the second case now and said, Dena, what does the homeowner want? Let's work this out.
Fascinating. This must be really reassuring for somebody who is facing these problems and had no idea that somebody could help.
It's so gratifying, rewarding to be able to tell a homeowner, not only are they not throwing out of your home, but you're keeping your house, we're reducing the principal balance, we're making your home affordable, and you're staying.
Best way to reach you?
703-261-7097 or SaveYourHouseLawyer.com.
703-261-7097. It's Dena Roudybush. And thank you. It's really like going into the other team's locker room whenever you come on. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you.